The strobe lights flickered across the nightclub floor like shards of broken glass, and the bass thudded in my chest as though it were echoing my own rising panic. I pushed through the crowd, the scent of perfume and sweat and alcohol clinging to me, and asked the bartender, my voice almost cracking under the weight of desperation, "Have you seen my wife?" He looked at me with a tired, almost sympathetic sigh, wiping down a glass that already seemed smeared with fingerprints. "Yeah, she just left with him." The words hit me harder than the bass, reverberating through every bone in my body. "What do you mean, him?" I managed, though my throat felt tight, like someone had tied a cord around it. He shrugged, avoiding my eyes. "Some guy. I didn't catch his name. She just walked out with him." I felt like I had been punched. Not the sharp, immediate kind, but the slow, twisting kind, where the pain digs in and won't let go. I sank onto a nearby stool, my hand shaking, heart hammering as every thought raced at once. Who is he? How long has this been going on? Why? Her name, Lauren, played over and over in my head. Lauren, my wife, the woman I had built a life with for 6 years, the woman I had trusted more than anyone else in the world. And now, this. I tried to breathe, tried to focus, but the image of her smiling, leaning close to me that morning, lingered like a cruel joke. She had kissed me goodbye, told me she had some errands and a girls' night out, and then vanished into night with a stranger, or worse, someone I didn't even know. The bartender leaned against the counter, finally meeting my gaze. "Look," I didn't want to say anything, but she seemed happy, laughing close to him. Didn't look like she was going back home tonight. I could feel the rage building, burning behind my eyes. Not just anger at her, but at myself, at my blindness, at the trust one had given her so freely. I needed answers, and I needed them now. I need to find her," I said, voice hoarse. "Do you know where she went after this?" He shook his head. "No idea. Taxi, maybe. Uber. Car. I don't know. Look, man, I'm sorry." I ran my hands through my hair, pacing along the bar, feeling every shred of control slipping through my fingers. I wanted to scream, to shake someone to make sense of this nightmare. My mind kept replaying every little detail from the past few weeks. The late nights at work she never mentioned, the phone she always held against her chest, the sudden girls' trips she claimed were urgent. How did I not see this? I remembered the last time we had fought, about something small, trivial even. I had been upset she didn't call me back when she said she would, and she had brushed it off, laughing like I was overreacting. How ironic that now, looking back, it all seemed like a prelude to this. I grabbed my coat from the hook by the door, leaving a few bills on the counter, and stormed out into the cold night. The city was alive with music and laughter, neon lights reflecting the puddles from an earlier rain. My hands were shaking, my chest tight. I didn't even know where to start looking, but I knew I had to try. I called her, of course. The call went straight to voicemail. I left a trembling message, half pleading, half accusing, my voice breaking as I said, "Lauren, where are you? Please just come home." Nothing. I drove aimlessly, the streets blurring past, every red light feeling like a judgment. My thoughts were messy, jumbled, a swirl of anger, heartbreak, disbelief. Every instinct screamed that I should go home, wait, process. But something inside me wouldn't let me. I couldn't sit still. I had to see her, to confront her, to understand. Hours passed. I visited a few bars she liked, asked strangers, called friends, left messages. All in vain. The night deepened. The city quieter now, but the ache inside me only grew sharper. By 2 a.m., I was back at the same nightclub, hoping against hope that somehow she had returned, that maybe this was a terrible misunderstanding. She wasn't there. The bartender noticed me the moment I walked in, eyebrows raised. Back again? I nodded, voice tight. I just need to know, did you see where they went? He shook his head. No. I told you, man. Taxi. Car. I don't know. You're going to have to deal with this on your own. Deal with it? I yelled, suddenly unable to contain the storm of emotions inside me. Heads turned, music stopped for a beat, and I felt every eye on me. She's my wife. My wife. The bartender looked away, sighing again. Look, I get it, but maybe you need to calm down. She's gone. There's nothing I can do. I felt my knees weaken, the world tilting around me. Gone. The word echoed through my head, colder than any winter wind. Gone. With someone else. My wife. My life. Gone. I slumped onto a stool, burying my face in my hands. I wanted to cry, but the tears wouldn't come. Not yet. Not while my mind was screaming at me, demanding answers, demanding closure. I thought about our home, the quiet kitchen, the coffee mug she always left in the sink, the photos on the wall of our vacations, our smiles frozen in time. Everything now seemed like a lie. The life I had thought I knew, the love I had believed in, all of it shattered in one sentence. She just left with him. I spent the next hour sitting there, numb, watching the crowd dance, drink, laugh. Each moment was a knife twisting in my chest. I tried to convince myself that this wasn't real, that somehow she would come back, and we'd laugh about this as some stupid misunderstanding. But deep down, I knew better. By 3 a.m., the club was nearly empty. The bartender was cleaning up, tossing bottles into bins, sweeping the floor. I stayed, hoping for some miracle, some explanation, and then my phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. He's not worth it. I'm sorry. I froze. My hands shook as I stared at the screen. My stomach turned over, a hollow pit forming. It had to be her. It had to. I typed back, fingers trembling. Lauren, is that you? Please, I need to hear your voice. No reply. Hours passed. Dawn was breaking when I finally left a nightclub, the neon lights dimming in the morning haze. I walked the streets, feeling lost, like a ghost wandering through a world that no longer belonged to me. My phone remained silent, except for the occasional notifications I ignored, each one a reminder how normal life continued while mine had unraveled. I returned home in the late morning. The apartment was quiet, too quiet. The scent of her perfume lingered faintly, a cruel reminder that she had been here, had existed in my world, and now she was gone. I wandered through the rooms, touching the edges of her life. Her favorite mug, the scarf she always left draped over the chair, the books she had stacked neatly by the bed. Each one was a shard of memory, each one a sting. I collapsed on the couch, exhausted, defeated. I wanted to scream, to hit something, to cry, but nothing came. Only the numbness remained. Days passed. I tried to reach out to her friends, her family, anyone who might know. Each time, I was met with silence, avoidance, or vague excuses. I began to piece together fragments. Whispers of a man she had been seeing, sightings at other bars, rumors she had been unhappy. The word unhappy burned in my chest. Was I not enough? Had I failed? Was love ever enough to keep someone? Finally, after a week of searching, I found him, her new lover, a casual acquaintance, someone I'd never suspected. I saw them together at a small cafe, laughing, touching hands as if the world had not happened to me at all. My chest tightened, but instead of anger, a wave of clarity washed over me. This wasn't about revenge. This was about truth, about seeing things as they were. I didn't confront them. I didn't yell or plead. I simply watched, heartbreaking quietly, and understood something I hadn't allowed myself to before. Love isn't always permanent. Trust, once broken, doesn't always return. People change, and sometimes those we think we know best are capable of choosing paths that leave us behind. I left the cafe without saying a word, walking away with a strange mix of grief and acceptance. For the first time, I allowed myself to cry, silently, in the middle of the empty street. Tears I had tried to hold back, tears I had resisted, now flowed freely. Weeks turned into months. I packed away her things, erased her digital presence from my life, and slowly, painfully, began to reclaim my own. Nights were still hard. Sometimes I found myself walking past that nightclub, staring at the doors, the memories, the echoes. But each time, I breathed deeply, reminding myself I had survived. I was still standing. Then, one evening, As I walked past the bookstore near the cafe where I had last seen her, I saw her in the window, not laughing, not happy, just standing there, looking at the display. Our eyes met, and for a brief moment, the years, the pain, the betrayal, all of it flashed between us. She looked away first, and I didn't call out. There was nothing to say. No apologies could undo what had been done. No words could stitch back the trust that had been shredded. I simply nodded once, a silent acknowledgement of everything and nothing, and walked on. That night, for the first time in months, I slept peacefully. The weight on my chest had lifted slightly, replaced not by closure, but by the understanding that life moves forward, even when it shatters. Pain is inevitable, but so is survival. And though Lauren had left, I was learning to stay. Some wounds never fully heal, but they shape us, sharpen us, remind us that we are human, capable of both love and heartbreak, capable of losing and still moving forward. And in the quiet moments, when the world is still and the neon lights are just distant memories, I remind myself, I am enough, and someday, so will I be whole again.